What's up, guys? It's Professor Oak. Yeah, I got a new video for you guys today. Few invasions with my Charizard build. Now, it's not like the most like cosplay Charizard build. Let's pretend this is if Charizard was turned into a person and stuck into the lands between. It's kind of the way I'm looking at it. It's not very faithful of a cosplay, but we're using the dragon head, the fire breath, the big flaming dragon head incantation, and it reminds me a lot of Charizard, using maybe flamethrower or something. So that's what we're going with. I also have Sword Dance on my Claymore, because Sword Dance is a move in Pokemon that Charizard can learn. And it's a buff in Pokemon, and it's an attack in this game, but the name is the same, so we put it on our Charizard build. Yeah. As for the stats, this is 60 Vigor. No, it's not, actually. I don't know why I just told you that. This is 51 Vigor, and then I have the Crimson Hood on, and that makes it 52 Vigor. I'm so used to all my builds being 60 Vigor at 125, but now that I'm trained to make some more invasion builds, this is level 100. I guess I should point that out as well. We're in level 100. We have 51 Vigor with the Crimson Hood, bringing us to 52 Vigor. It brings us out to about like 1890 health total. I am also wearing the Crimson Amber Medallion +2, so that boosts it quite a bit. I think without that, it was closer to 1700. But, regardless, yeah, 51 Vigor, Crimson Hood, Crimson Amber Medallion. The endurance is really low. I have almost no poise, like essentially no poise. I think it might be 31. But the armor you're seeing, Crimson Hood, Drake Knight chest, Drake Knight arms, and the pants are Blythe's pants. They match the armor on the chest of the Drake without looking to stand out, too garish, I guess. So, yeah, that's what we went with armor-wise. 15 is what my endurance is at. It's very laughably low, but on an invasion build, I'm not finding it to be too big of a struggle. Having no poise does suck. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm thinking about evolving this build further. We might shave a few points off strength and put a few into endurance so that I can wear some bull goat legs or something that might give me a little bit more poise, so I can trade with this Claymore mainly. But you know, we're doing okay with the stick and move playstyle, the hit and run with the Claymore. A little bit more about the build. The crystal tier that enhances your charged attacks is one of the crystal tiers I'm using, as well as the axe talisman and the spear talisman. So the charged R2s, you'll notice in this invasion specifically, are doing crazy damage. It's one of the ways that I'm kind of able to deal with not having poise, is sort of predicting my opponent when they're going to come into me, charging an R2 and letting it, Beyblade let it rip when they come in towards me. It's been very effective playstyle. I'm sure it would work with, most thrusting weapons, but with the Claymore, it just feels so good. Claymore has been one of my favorite weapons. Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, you name it. Claymore. It's a beautiful classic. But, yeah, moving on to strength. We're at 44 strength. I have the other crystal tier for my +10 on the strength stats, so that I get 54. It's kind of like the cheat code to having the soft cap when you're two-handing the weapon. If you have 54 strength, when you two-hand a weapon, you're going to get 1.5 times that, essentially, when you two-hand the weapon, putting you at 80, right at 80. Half of 54 is 27, so it's really 81. But effectively, you have the soft cap of strength. Dexterity, I have pretty high for this build. I think I'm going to end up lowering it. I went to 18 for the dexterity on this build, so that I could hard swap in certain matchups, in certain situations, to Rivers of Blood. And I know that's probably a controversial thing, but this build is centered around that dragon head attack, which required Arcane. It requires 17 Arcane. And originally I was going to stick with the base Arcane, but I kind of looked through the spells, looked through different things that required Arcane, wanted to see what I could all use with 17. And for only 3 more points, I could use Rivers of Blood. And the way that synergizes really well with this build is on the pulley crossbow, I'm using the Bloodbone bolts. Each hit does just a little bit of blood loss build-up. If you hit all 3 and they don't have the highest robustness, you can get that blood loss off just one shot. Otherwise, you're mostly going to be hitting like stray arrows here and there, or stray bolts, rather. And I also have Swarm of Flies, which most people are going to roll through. Some don't, but that also kind of adds a little stray bleed buildup here and there. And then my Claymore, I don't have the poise, so I'm not trading hits. I'm not getting like 2 R1 chains without getting staggered out very often. So I'm rarely getting the blood loss with the Claymore. More the playstyle is getting stray hits here and there that are slowly bleeding up the build and doing reasonable damage. So when I do finally get the bleed loss, or the blood loss, it's pretty much game over, GG's, you know? So if I get these stray hits with the bolts, I get some Swarm of Flies to touch some people. I've maybe gotten a Claymore swing with Blood Flame Blame, speech impediment. Blood Flame Blade on it, or the Blood Grease. Usually their meter is halfway full or so, and especially in group situations, hard swapping swiftly over to the Rivers of Blood, and just letting out that first L2 to kind of finish the blood meter on everyone. It's worked well in a few situations. I haven't used it the most. Usually the Claymore is doing the job fine. I have the Halberd and the S-Stock also. Just two more really simple, you know, I really like basic things sometimes. It's you know, a silly taste preference, but simple things are sometimes great in life. Like your Claymore, your Halberd, your S-Stock. No need to go too fancy. And that's kind of where we're sitting with this build. It fits the theme to me too. Charizard being a Gen 1 Pokemon, some of the more normal Pokemon came out in Gen 1. So we're going with some normal things, some old school. But yeah, so, yeah, 51 Vigor. Did we say all this? 15 Endurance, 44 Strength with the Crystal tier to make 54. 18 Dex, I'm thinking about lowering down. Faith and Arcane are at what I said the minimum for Rivers of Blood was, 20 Arcane. And Faith is at 15, and that's allowing me to not only use the Dragon Head spell, but also the Flame Grant Me Strength to increase Blood Flame Blade and the Dragon Fire. Really a big focus of this build was just the Dragon Fire. I love that attack, reminds me so much of Charizard, reminds me so much of just Pokemon in general, which if you didn't know, I'm a pretty big fan of Pokemon. But this is the Charizard build, that's the stats for it at least. Some strategies I've been using with this build. The Charizard 2 that I spoke about, like, this Dragon Breath attack is not doing the most damage with my stats in the Faith and Arcane the way that they are. I have very minimal Faith and Arcane just to run the equipment that I want, so I'm not getting the most damage out of those. What it is great for, though, is dispersing the crowd, I guess, if you're in a 1v3 situation. Most people are going to run away from this, try to panic roll all around. You're going to get them dispersed. If you can get someone trapped in like a corner in a bad spot when you throw this out, most of the time they're going to get hit by most of the fire. Most people are not, and I'm just going to be frank, these spells are a little tricky to get out of. I don't want to say they're busted. I think that they're balanced in a way that is understandable to me, that if you do connect with most of it, it should do big damage. It's a dragon breathing its fire. In the boss battles, we've all had to fight the PvE to get here to be PvPing. You remember when a dragon hit you with its breath, it did an unreasonable amount of damage. I think that's a lore thing. Dragons are strong as shiz, so the spell should be. It may need, you know, some more tweaks as the game progresses, but right now I really think it's fine. I specifically went with the fire one for the Charizard build, but I know that some people have issues with the rot breath, and some of the, and you know, speak of that beautiful devil, there goes the rot breath on screen. But I like the spells, especially in a 1v3 situation. When people are using them on the opposite end, they feel a little grimy, but when I'm using them against them, I feel just peachy, guys. I feel great, it feels nice. Yeah, not a whole lot to say. I love you guys. I've had a really rough few weeks, but everything's looking up for me. For people who have kept up with the last few videos, we're down to just one kitten, but man is it cute, man is it healthy, man is it loving life. It's up running around, playing with us. It got the zoomies for the first time. Shoutouts to my cat owners out there that know what the zoomies are. It got its first case of the zoomies, and it was the cutest thing I've pretty much ever seen. So, you know, life's looking up. I got a new job. I know that, you know, some people who may know me from other areas may know this, but a lot of people just watching the YouTubes, you may not. As a career, I'm a dog trainer. I've been out of work for just a little bit here. I just today got hired on in a new facility. Things are looking good for me. I'm maybe not going to have the most time to put every single hour of my life into playing this game and recording videos, but I'm still going to be keeping on it as much as I can. Like I shared, got several new builds in the works. This is one of them. Charizard was a big theme for me. I've got a little idea for a Blastoise build. I've had a friend over on Reddit, on the Bad Red Man subreddit, who's already done a Blastoise build, so I feel a little bit like stepping on his toes, but I've just got this really cool idea. I kind of want to get it out there. But I have that. I have a Light Roll Twin Blade build that I'm working on. I have a Gengar themed Pokemon build. I'm really liking the taking a Pokemon and trying to make it into a real person for Elden Ring. Kind of a similar theme. I think that's a really cool concept in my head, but maybe you guys do or don't, I don't know. If you think it's a cool concept, maybe like the video, leave me a comment, say that, hey, this was sick, your name's Professor Oak and now you're doing Pokemon builds? That's on brand, keep it up, bro. Or, you know, tell me, hey dude, this was pretty cringe, we know your name's already Professor Oak, but now you're just gonna be a Pokemon? I know, you know, it could go either way. Most of this YouTube stuff could totally go either way. But, I love you guys. I thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna keep working for y'all. I'm gonna keep making this content. I'm probably gonna make fun of Saint Riot soon. If you watch the whole video, there's a little sneak peek of what's next. I love you guys. Smell you later.